Nenyon ko Daisy Langat Getawne Logoiywekab Bunge na baboro Linton ko kaimuch ko tarchigen mit tabrani ko nyek tugalam en kasata not na kaimuch ko suman budget not na bagani na bal fusyogaing up to maglo gani na bal fusyogaing up to mag active sabab minister in ministry not na balingu na treasury not na John body itang ko budget not na ba chip conduct selingi shek trillion angwan na kenu sita ole ko sipke ag body ko maglo gani much kitaban chip conduct en sakta se tetera ole tarchingani tange gele gani much ke kanapta uchumi ne ba emoni ko sipke ag body ko maglo tu kita coba andap tayam ko kaki taban chip conduct selingi shek not ko million shek ko sit agar tam oleh sarkali tini baburo ko gimuch kita bagi chip conduct trillion shek ainge no sita agbong gen baburo ko billion arta maksit kene chlo agmo to etna tene bagap kirwa ka ko chatan na a billion so som gen angwan akot ko no tene billion bagal ti sabak tamono ka sisit agangwan kene chmota ko gimuch kita bagi sekta na tene ba so manet ole moim ba digolem Oke much kita bantu chip kondo ka chota chachang sekta na tana baka bati sit ko subke ang niagen gen sekta sa chota chabaga manot ende tu sikya chaba uchumi agot ko no tan ko moy mbadi gole sekta sa theater ko bendi go nyoru anagwaro ro bai sit na ba chip kondo ke gi tabanjina le moy gole taken gen tam ge gele age much kinde ka te to te ka chele la chente tar chinge ke chucho chit na ba chip kondo ka chota chaborora agot ko no tan ko moy gole mage much get as ice root and mage much ke bosap and I get as ice root akatubula in a moagulem talking again tan governo mai much ke Logoiywekab Emet.
Mr. Speaker, in preparing these proposals, I have been guided by the overriding principle of placing the well-being of the common mwananchi first. In this regard, I have deliberately chosen not to introduce new taxes or increase tax rates that would further overburden the hard-working Kenyans and their families. Instead, the measures are focused on reforms that improve efficiency in tax collection, create a fairness in the tax system, and broaden the revenue base without burdening the mwananchi. Mr. Speaker, allow me to share a striking reality. Today, only 3.1 million working Kenyans contribute to pay as you earn. Yet, millions of other Kenyans that make money in our economy do not contribute to the taxes we collect. Many of these people have been filing nil returns year after year. The burden of developing this country has therefore been on a few of us. And Mr. Speaker, that this must change. We shall continue to broaden our tax base, a process that will help us lower tax rates to ease burden on the few that are taxed.
Ketage mi aglo chota sinyege ak budget konatan ne yarum badi kolega imuch konda serikali ka ko ke ba gergele agi much ke bos ole tanatan ba mwana na vigati en ko tanatan ba tamanaglo en bogala agoy ko tanatan ba sisiten bogala bitunitan en kastana tani wagata thange boronjo ole tanatan ba mwana ko lonya baraga lego sukke ak bandi ko mo golem kay mo tan go gi much ko bit en kastana tani gi much ke boronjo terchineta ene matni ke gi much ko tienge e moni ko bi ko be mwana ko ba e moni.
Mr. Speaker, in 2025, the economy grew by 4.6% compared to a growth rate of 4.7% in 2024. This growth was supported by positive growth in all the sectors. All the sectors of the economy at least registered positive growth. The outlook for 2026 has been revised downwards, however, to 5% from the earlier projection of 5.3%, reflecting the adverse impact of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East to domestic economic activities. The economy is projected to maintain the momentum in 2027 with a projected growth rate of 5.2%. So, Mr. Speaker, macroeconomic indicators remain broadly stable through the emerging external pressures, though the emerging external pressures continue to impact domestic prices. And in particular, overall inflation increased to 6.7% in May 2026 from 5.6% in April, and from 3.8% in May 2025 due to higher energy prices arising from the elevated global oil prices, but remained within the target range of plus or minus 2.5% over and above 5%. Inflation is expected to remain within the target range in the near term, assuming a de-escalation of the conflict in the Middle East and supported by appropriate monetary policy actions and government interventions. Expected stability in food prices due to favorable weather conditions and the stability in the exchange rate. Mr. Speaker, in April 2026, The government has deployed targeted stabilization measures to cushion consumers from the full impact of rising global fuel prices. These interventions include use of resources in the Petroleum Development Levy Fund to subsidize the fuel pump prices. And in addition, the government lowered the VAT rate on petroleum products for 3 months from 16% to 8%. Mr. Speaker, monetary conditions have eased considerably. This follows reduction in the central bank rate from 11.25% in December 2024 to the current rate of 8.7%.
Kotinge ak sekta naton nebo tililindo kokosubke ak mbadi komwoe kole ako yen nguni biikab emoni choton ko million sosomagenge kenuch oeng komuch kosirgei en tuget nelel noton nebo SHA ole tokingen niton koker kole kanyorchigei biikab emet tetutik chebo tililindo en kergeindo. Akot kou noton komwoe mbadi kole kokimuch ketobonchi chepkondok choton ko billion anan billion agenge ak 77 kenuch oeng. Sekta noton nebo tililindo ole tokingen niton kekere kakimuch kekanapta sekta in counties cheterter chebo emoni.
Health financing. A total of 31.2 million Kenyans are now registered under the Social Health Authority, compared to about 8 million under the defunct National Hospital Insurance Fund, while 228 primary care networks have been established and operationalized. A total of 107,831 community health promoters have been recruited and trained, while 16,810 medical interns have undergone internship, bringing healthcare services closer to communities. Mr. Speaker, the government recognizes the critical role the contracted healthcare facilities play in the delivery of healthcare services to Kenyans. It is with this in mind that the government in the current financial year of 25-26 allocated 4 billion for settlement of outstanding National Hospital Insurance Fund pending bills. And going forward, we will settle the balance of the bills that are owed under the defunct National Hospital Insurance Fund and which span over the years. Mr. Speaker, this allocation is specifically designated for settlement of NHIF pending bills owed to contracted health care facilities in accordance with the presidential directive that prioritized the clearance of outstanding obligations for facilities with claims not exceeding 10 million shillings. The claims earmarked for settlement under this allocation have been duly
en kasaratan ko kaimuch ko barasta en budget noton na kaimuch ko soman John Badi kole kaimuch ko taban serikali en budget noton nebo kenyit nebo 2026 kenyit nebo 2027 choton ko chepkondok billion somogenu sokola lakibendi keboisien ton kelipanen boisiek choton chebo koga kosubkei ak Badi komwoe kole isulen boisiet noton inegen en mwoe kole toretegei ak motwet noton nebo ripset nebo kalyet en komoswek chebo gaa.
I have also proposed 3.9 billion for stipend to village elders for the first time, something that has been talked about for years, to enhance local administrative capacities, to appreciate. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. I have also proposed 3.9 billion for stipend to village elders to enhance local administrative capacities and to appreciate and recognize the role played by village elders in helping address security and other societal challenges.
Keistoegei logoichoton bunu bunge ole niton kotinyegei ak somanet noton nebo budget en wiksa raini ketokchinigei county nebo Nandi. Ole kakomwa Vice Chair nebo Education Stakeholders Forum Kennedy Koech en county nebo Nandi kole bendi ketestai ak paunik chebo oret ak konetik chebo ECD. En county noton kosimchin serikalit nebo county nebo Nandi koker ole kaimuch kosuldochi konetik chebo ECD magutikwak. Ngenyorun kaindab logoiwek kobun sirindenyon Elwin Cherop.
Kongalali yekamita kanetikab ECD korirtae ene serikalitab county nebo Nandi kole tomo koityi kamanut kasuldaetab magutikab kanetichoto ole kamwa ichek kole mawekse let ichek eng panganutik chebo kasuldaetab banwechoto bo oret eng tarik 16 wikini nyone.
The demonstration is firm there on Tuesday 16 June 2026 that we shall be doing matters of whole demonstrations never done in this county. We shall do a serious demonstration yenye haijafanywa Nandi. Mwalimu ana scheme of service. Kuna watu wanahan pesa ya certificate na yeye degree. Kumaanisha ile report inapeanwa every month ama kila mwezi inasaidia, iko na umuhimu gani?
Governor, tunakuomba kwamba wakati mnaposoma budget wakati huu, kumbuka mwalimu wa ECD, especially kwa promotions. Kuna walimu wamesoma from certificate wakajikokota hivyo wakaenda diploma, wakajikokota wakaenda degree, na pesa yenye wametumia it is not worth kazi yenye tunafanya. Hata ukipea mwalimu mwingine mwenye si wa chekechea anaweka mkono juu.
Tunataka full scheme of service na job groups kama walimu wa ECD.
Agot kounoto kokamwa ichek kole manai amune sikotomo kosulda tetutik chebo bandaptai eng sekta nebo somanet nebo ECD eng county nebo Nandi, akotesetai serikalitab boror kotabanjin chepkondok cheyomotin sekta inotok bo somanetab ECD.
And anybody thinking that tutawekwa kwa kona tuongeleshwe tukubali additional ya 4,000 yenye tumesikia yenye wameenda kubudget 90 million kwa uniform na wamebudget pesa duni kwa personnel, we are saying with the loudest words, wait for a root shot, you will be shocked. Mazungumzo yetu ni kuitwa kwa meza, ndio hii parwasa walimu sasa job group with full scheme, ndio hii organogram structure imefanya kazi. Structure yenu inaenda hivi na hivi na hivi. Nothing else.
Kongetege taonitab Kapsabet County nebo Nandi, logoiywekab emet chebo Nenyon TV, kainenyu ko Elwin Chero.
Kongoi mising Nenyon Elwin Chero kobun county nebo Nandi en logoiywek alak kokakokimit rubeiwotab president en emoni Professor Kithure Kindiki kole kokomuch konde serikalit kakwautik chebo keker kole kimuch kekirindaen yautik chebo kanyalilet noton ko gender based violence. Kongololi Kindiki en kasarta nekaimuch koyai tuyet ak stakeholders kondochin minister en ministry nebo gender noton ko Anna Cheptumo en kwenut nebo stakeholders alak ole kaimuch kokochi ng'atutiet nebo keker kele akimuch ketok tetutik choton chebo keker kele akimuch kekimit ng'atutik cheikipchin ichek yekaimuch kosuldaen yautik choton nebo gender based violence noton ko kanyalilet ak baret. Akot kounoton komwoe Kindiki kole kitwongen koitet noton nekotestai kolany barak chebo yautik chebo kanyalilet ak baret. Ole mwoe kole tokyingei serikalit nebo emoni koker kele akimuch kiwong niton ak kerib chametabgei nebo kwonyik anan kamatik ak lagok chemengechen.
The government is concerned with the repeated cases and reports of the killing of women, in many cases in very brutal circumstances and very horrendous circumstances. And most of the times the investigations do not lead to a conclusive motive other than these people were killed and these victims were murdered because of being women. It's very worrying because identifying, isolating a fellow human being, murdering them, harming them, dismembering them, just because of being female, I think is the worst form of violation of human dignity and cannot be tolerated. So we are looking at those statistics so that we can be able to check where the hotspots are, the most affected areas, and tailor interventions, preventive interventions, corrective interventions based on the data that has come, but over and above, just to assure the people of Kenya that as government, we are concerned about our children and the well-being of our society as an important pillar of national building over and above the usual provision of infrastructure and public amenities.
En kasaratan ako gimiti Kindiki kole wendi koboisien serikalit nebo emoni choton kokoitosiek ana chikilisiet noton nebo kimuch konyor task force noton nekimuch kotoi kochikil yautik choton bo kanyalilet koret agenge nebo kinde kakwautiik chebo keker kele kakichuchuch.
We've been implementing administrative measures that don't require legislation and policy. So it is not correct for anybody to imagine that nothing has happened between the time the report was submitted to the president and now. And some of it includes sensitizing stakeholders into a rapid results initiative program, which has already started in central Kenya and will go to the other regions to make sure that we stem this very worrying trend of people being killed or abused or harmed, either because of their gender or even because of their age, because the people mutilating children, killing children, are taking advantage of the vulnerability of the little ones for whatever reason. And therefore, the assurance that I want to give this morning is that we are taking the recommendations of the technical working group seriously. So I want to reaffirm the commitment of the government to make sure that we roll back the worrying statistics of gender-based violence and femicide in our country. And that is why the president set up the technical working group, which has done a great job in terms of recommending legislative, policy, and administrative reforms and action that we need to take. And I want to confirm that that report has already been presented to the president, and the directive of His Excellency the President is that that report be considered as soon as possible in cabinet.
Kitab Kalenji na kawagunetab kay na bawan logoiywek choton ko kagiwangon logoiywekab emet en koindo che kagitetunen saini. Kay Nenyon ko Daisy Langat testai gergetesiet